Howdy, and welcome back to Adventures in iPhone Photography over at hossedia.com. And today we're taking kind of a more in-depth look, quick tutorial on how to use the black and white camera app Hueless. I had some questions about it over on the iDownload blog post I did about it, and I thought I'd answer them real quick with a video tutorial. Here we are running Hueless 1.6 on an iPhone 5. So we're just going to be photographing the Big World Little Lens model here. If you haven't picked up my book, you can. It's a complete guide to iPhone photography that'll get you well on your way to creating awesome iPhone images, and you can get it at the links below. The Flatbooks link is the PDF version for all devices. The iPad link is to get it in the iTunes bookstore for your iPad. So here we are. We've got Hueless in front of us. So I want to walk through some of the features of Hueless. Real quick, if you touch the camera roll down there, it turns on and off the controls. If you want to take a picture, touch the camera button, or the volume up button works as well. So let's say we want to make this picture a little brighter. Well, up here on the left, you've got the contrast and exposure control, and that's what's really cool about Hueless, is that you can control both the contrast and exposure at the time of capture. Unlike any other app out there, most of the apps you take your photo and edit. This one you get to prevision and control it at the time of capture. So as we cycle through, you'll see on the left we have a slider. So this one just kind of goes a gradient from light to dark. So if we go to the top, your image gets brighter. If we go down to the bottom, it gets darker. Now if we go to the contrast, you'll notice there's a wave going through it. So there's very little contrast in this image. So we have a very low or a small relative difference between bright and dark areas of the image. And as we increase it, it gets a little more punchy. So that increases contrast. And that's set in the middle. So if we go to the next icon there, the shutter, or the aperture looking diaphragm there, you can do a couple things. But right now what we're going to do is, if you ever need help, you can just touch the question mark and bring up the help. To get back to making awesome images, just tap the camera icon. Your grids, turn on your grids. Nothing fancy there. The arrows flip around so you can use Hueless on the front side camera, and your flash turns flash on and off. Ooh, and a flashlight, as well as auto. So if we tap somewhere on the image, it's going to go ahead and set your focus. And then if you get up here to this little circular filter icon, you're going to go ahead and see filters that are common for black and white photography. You've got your red, your orange, your yellow, your green, and your blue. So as you apply these filters, and this is a bad example, but if I wanted to apply a blue filter, you can see what happens, or if I wanted to apply a red filter, you can see what happens. But basically what's happening is, if you apply a red filter or orange or yellow, you're going to be brightening warm colors and darkening cool colors. And the reverse is true for blue and green filters. And then as you're working with these filters, if you tap there, you're going to be able to control their intensity, or just go back to a neutral filter. Now, make sure you go into your settings within Hueless, because there's a lot of things you can configure there. You can put in your artist copyright information. You can put in, or you can control whether or not your contrast and exposure sliders auto hide themselves, things like that. And then also, if you hold down the camera button there, you go into expanded mode. So anytime you touch the screen, it's taking a photo, which I don't like. So I always go into standard mode, which means when I tap the screen, I get a focus. So go ahead and let's take some photos. There we go. And if we want to take a bright, if we want to take a bright one, we go into the exposure. We get a real high key look, right? And if we want to take a dark one, whoa, I keep adjusting contrast. Go to take a dark one, etc. So that's Hueless. I hope that answers your question, and hopefully our Big World Little Lens model arm gets healed, or heals up soon. So that's it, and we'll see you out there on the creative frontier.